Hey, what is up, guys? And welcome back to another Magic the Gathering online league. We're back once again with Temur Eldrazi Ramp on the draw for game 1. So you might notice a few changes to the list. I did cut Ugin in favor of a third Emrakul. Just looking back at the games yesterday, every time I drew Ugin, an Emrakul just would have been better. Mox Amber. Okay, so it looks like Affinity. Yep. Tamu. Why'd you take... Oh, no, I guess you couldn't take, generate blue. Right. World Breaker, you say. Is there a world where playing Ugin's Lab first is better? The answer is yes, in case of a drawing off a talisman, right? Misty Rainforest is better in the sense that we can then fetch for a commercial district. But I think we go Ugin Lab, World Breaker, open ourselves up to a talisman. Though I guess if we just draw into a talisman, we can just play the lab anyway. So that's not really a difference. Yeah, never mind. So we'll go Misty Rainforest. It's a Misty, and we'll pass. I had to think there for a second. I was like, okay, sequencing here actually doesn't matter. It would only matter if it's between like a lab and a temple. But 'tis not. 'Tis a clue. 3 cards in hand. And 3. Teferi. What? Teferi in an affinity deck? I'm confused. Commercial district. Trigger. Verdant Catacombs to grave. Draw. Sprawl. Ugin Lab. Imprint. And Rumble. I would like Emrakul, but I think we go with Devour to deal with Teferi. And or any other threat that might pop up. We'll hold up the blade to respond. And pass. They could Teferi minus on the spawn. Wouldn't be the end of the world. We'll sack in a response. That way there's no legal targets. Plaza of Heroes. Okay, now I'm just confused. So this looks like it might be Super Friends of sorts. Oh, I wonder if this is Kethis. Oh, that would be interesting. We haven't played against Kethis yet. Of course, I take Oof out as soon right before this league. That just would be the case. Black, green. Basim. Huh. Weird. What am I playing against? Is it Kethis? It might be. Because Basim is a nice little draw engine for them. You can flip Tamiyo here. Draw a card off a clue. Teferi minus. Okay, they thought that one through. And then crack a clue. Soul Cauldron. Oh. Interesting. Why Soul Cauldron? Huh. I guess it could grab Kethis. So we need to deal with Tamiyo now. No ifs, ands, or buts about that. And draw. Ghost Quarter, you say. Well, I'm going to go Cavern of Souls. Name Eldrazi. And we could go Writhing Chrysalis. We could go Sowing Mycospawn. It's harder for them to interact with a land than it is for spawns. So I think we will go for, with Sowing Mycospawn just to try and guarantee this Devourer next turn. Trigger. Temp. And we will pass. Next turn we will cast Devourer to deal with the Tamiyo. I would have liked to have dealt with the Basim, but we can't exactly leave that Tamiyo just sitting there. I guess it also depends on if they do play any other blockers. The Micah Spawn only deals 2 damage, right? Soul Cauldron, yep, that's fine. Amber Trigger, Basim. One, two. Rumble. Okay, so yeah, this has to be Kethis. There, sure enough, is Kethis. I imagine they leave Kethis in yard and grab the Opal. Each legend card in graveyard gains. So they can't run it out yet unless they have a grinding station. Chooses Mox Opal as expected. Grabs Rumble back. Okay. So yeah, they're definitely going for grinding station. However, opponent just disconnected from the game, so we'll be back once they've returned. Alright, opponent has returned. Yeah, this Agatha's Soul Cauldron's a bit of a concern. There is a thought to attempting the Mycospawn kick and then the Jukabog, but only if they don't Agatha Soul Cauldron the Kethis, right? I guess they could be afraid of whatchamacallit. There's Kethis Bauble. I imagine they grab Bauble. I guess they could be afraid of a K command, so they do have access to K command. X equals 1 here, technically. So now I am going to likely exile Basim with Devourer. We can attack down Tamiyo or Teferi as needed. Yep, chose the Bauble as expected. 3 unknowns in hand. Teferi plus. I guess the one downside it is that they still have the spawn. I mean, Tamiyo's not doing much. The Seam is what's going to be able to get them card advantage. A legendary spell, eh? What you got? Black, white, green. So this is just Kethis. Okay. So now I have Kethis proper. Plays Bauble. Attacks. I cannot block. This is interesting. Bauble target me. Yeah, I wish there was a clean way to get them to use this Agatha Soul Cauldron, but there really isn't. Oh. Well, let me read Kethis' ability again. Exile 2 legend cards from your graveyard. So they would need to first get 2. Of course they can minus the fairy. So we could just empty their yard. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 minus 2 is 6, so we could Chrysalis and Mycospawn? No. Yeah, no. We're missing a additional green source. So it might be right for me to empty their yard, though, regardless. Because at least that way, they wouldn't be able to activate Kethis. At least need a refill. So I think we will do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes. And let's go after the Plaza Heroes or the Breeding Pool. Let's go after the Breeding Pool. Make it a bit more difficult and painful for them to play stuff like Malevolent Rumble. So then we'll go Bajuka Bog, empty their yard, so that way they can't activate Kethis. Yep. So they'll do this. They'll put a +1/+1 counter on, let's say, the Eldrazi spawn. That's okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. What I need to do next turn is return Worldbreaker. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, we would have been 1 off. So put the counter on Kethis. That's fine. Again, at least this way they can't actually activate Kethis. We, of course, can't attack, but that's okay for right now. Bobble, trigger. They can put at least 1 creature into yard. Beseem, trigger. Because it says specifically exile 2 legendary cards, yeah. Target self, seeing what they have on top. Misty Rainforest to shuffle it up. The thing is, we need to deal with Kethis and Agatha Soul Cauldron, not just one or the other. And that does get complicated. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we could play Chrysalis and Devourer. That might be right. Draws a card. Tamiyo plus. For a Tamiyo, I'm going to imagine. For an Emery. It's not great either. However, just an Opal and a Bauble. Huh. Bounces Emery to replay it. Use Mox Amber. Yep. There's another Agatha Soul Cauldron, but no Grinding Station. I think they play a 1 of Grinding Station, right? Though actually, did they need Grinding Station since they can loop Amber? Right? Because Kethis, Exile, Aggie, Beseem, and then this says... Until end of turn, each legendary card in your graveyard gains. So it doesn't work for the Amber that was already put in there. So I guess they can't do that. So yeah, it's not as if they just can have one amber in yard, one amber on field, and loop. They need a way to refill the yard. Attack with Pristine? No? Okay. I mean, they probably want to grab back Malevolent Rumble. Draw. Play Ghost Quarter. So, I wonder if we need to get rid of Tamiyo as much as I want to get rid of Kethis. Cast a Writhing Chris. Cast Devourer. We're gonna go after Tamiyo. I really don't want them grabbing back that Malevolent Rumble. If they're digging, let's force them to dig. I'll say yes. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I'm actually short still. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I am. That'd be too short. So maybe we do go just for another Devourer. I'm going to say no for now. Trigger 1, trigger 2. Yeah, Soulless Jailer would definitely be useful here. You, of course, can't attack. Would be a fruitless effort. I think next turn we'll just grab back World Breaker and get rid of Aggie. If we don't draw into any action, we can then activate Sanctum of Ugin and grab a Devourer. But right now we are a little bit of an awkward situation. Still have Opal in hand. Another Emery. So again, they're looking for a grinding station. Like I said, I think it's a one of. They whiff. Oh, no, they don't. That's Jace. So, okay, what they'll do now is they will activate Kethis and then play Jace. That would be my guess. Yes. At this point, I'm just going to say hands off and let them go off. Because a full cast Jace will be able to generate an additional, 15 cards in yard? And that should just end the game. Because then they should be able to theoretically recast Jace. So mill, target self. Yep. Plays the Opal that was in hand. Another Opal. 2. And like I said, Jace just needs to mill self. Amber. Blue. Mill self for 15. And they're looking for the other Jace. There's Jace. Yep. Actually, no, we haven't found the other Jace, have we? Could be that it's in hand, I suppose. Kethis. Amber. Let's repeat. They'll play the Ambers, they'll play the Opals. And just generate extra mana just in case. Alright, so you should have all the mana you need. You can recast Jace. And then mill out the last 4. Yep. Oh, interesting. They're milling me now? I thought the entire point was for them to mill themselves. Am I confused? I mean, I guess this is a valid strat. Why do I feel like this isn't the normal game plan? Could I be wrong? I'm not exactly too concerned with them seeing my deck, so I'll gladly give them the information. Yeah, I thought the whole point was for them to have the Jace that when your library is empty and you draw a card, you win. Wonder if they've moved off that plan and moved on to just looping Jace, which is valid. I mean, you cast it one more time and you win. Interesting. Yep, no reason to generate any more mana. The fact that Kethis does have to activate its ability each time it does this is actually pretty significant because it does offer opportunity to interact with a K command or Tormod script. That's good information to have. At this point, we'll pass in full, and I will draw and lose as a result. Okay. Well, in that case, this is Kethis Combo. I want to say that we do have a sideboard guide made for this, or it might just be such a small meta share that I didn't create one. Let's take a look. Temur Eldrazi ramp. I also need to update this a little bit with Stonebrain and Nature's Claim. I did. So Kethis Combo. I want Jailer and Dismember. Yeah, that seems right. So Dismember, Jailer, cut the return, cut Gemstone, cut Ghost Court. We could bring in Brain, but... Well, actually, Kethis Combo seems a lot more fragile to surgical effects, doesn't it? I wonder if Brain's correct. Whereas Grinding Station wasn't as fragile. I mean, once Kethis is removed, I don't even know if they really have a mid-range game plan to fall back on. At the same time, just like having Jailer means that they can't do much unless they bounce it with, let's say, a Teferi. Interesting. Maybe Brain is better here. Before I didn't have access to it, so I didn't really consider it, but now that I do, is Brain the right choice? Because yeah, what's the mid-range backup plan? I didn't see anything of note. So let's actually cut the Jailer and bring in the Brain instead. And then run it back. On the play for game 2. No 7-mana value spell for the lab, but we do have 11 hits off top. Yeah, we can keep this. And I think we just go Stomping Grounds tapped and pass. And pass. There's 11 hits on top for the lab, otherwise we can rumble regardless. There's an Opal and a Bauble. Misty Fetch. Interesting. Surprised they didn't target themselves first, but that probably... Well, no, even if they were to cast something, I feel like they should bobble first, but that might mean they're light on artifacts. So this is an Emery. Yep. That makes sense to me. Another bobble. Bobble target me. I'd like a soul land off top. Dismember actually works instead. So what we can do here is Cavernous Souls, name Eldrazi. The next question becomes, do I Rumble or do I Talisman? I think I might just Talisman Dismember. Talisman and Dismember. And pass. So if you're light on artifacts before, you're definitely in a worse position now. Plaza of Heroes. Beseem. And passing. And draw. Well, you could exile Beseem, which I think is actually correct. So here's what we're going to do. Ugin Lab trigger. K command. Scry draw exile, looking for a 7 mana value spell. And let's actually go top and draw, trigger, resolve, and pass. And pass. Next turn we'll have our land drop into Rumble. We have more interaction in the way of Kozilek's command. The nice part of that about that is we basically made a second land drop off of the command. So even if we made 2 spawns, let's say, we really only lost out on 1 additional mana. I'm pretty happy with that result. Malevolent Rumble, no. Agatha Soul Cauldron. Spire, still missing 1 artifact for Metalcraft. Forest. Let's fire off a Rumble. Yeah, let's fire off a Rumble. Well, there is the Stone Brain. Cast Stone Brain. Stone Brain, target you, naming Kethis. Kethis, the hidden hand. So yeah, short of Kethis, what is your mid-range game plan? They don't have one. So I mean, I think, yeah, this is just a GG's. I mean, I guess they can Jace and then mill me? Sure, whatever, my Emrakul becomes cheaper. Yeah, they need to figure out a good mid-range game plan, don't they? So I want the gemstone back. So I lost for game 1. And for game 2. Actually, what did I recommend to cut on the play, or on the draw rather? Kethis Combo. World Breaker. I'm actually not sure about that. Now I think about it. Like, the Dismember is good. Bajuga Box still good. Gemstone's still good. I wonder if maybe just cutting a Emrakul is because World Breaker does interact with, like, Aggie Soul. Devour interacts. I think maybe just cutting an Emrakul here might not be a bad idea. Yeah, we'll do that. The draw. I'll keep. What I really want to see here is either a soul land or a... whatchamacallit? Malevolent Rumble. Malevolent Rumble would work. Ideally find a soul land. Kick a Myco Spawn. And then we have Devourer as backup and Dismember as interaction. So overall, seems like a solid hand. Yeah, interacting with their creatures as much as possible seems strong. We'll pass in full. Otawara, Tamiyo, pass. Trigger 1, trigger 2. There's a Kozilek's command. At the same time, there's the lab. But the lab doesn't do much if we don't then have another way to ramp, does it? Well, I guess it does. I'll go command. I think we stick with command. Do I dismember the Tamiyo? I think probably not unless we see an opal. And we'll just hold the dismember. Because we can always exile the Tamiyo next turn. Of course, main downside of this is the fact that... Really? So they're missing land drops. Wooded Foothill isn't as good here. I think we could just go Commercial District, trigger. Otherwise, we could hold up Command X equals 1. Possible that we draw into a soul land off top. We only saw 1. Yeah, we'll go Forest and pass, hold up Command. And draw. It's a combat. Let's just get this out of the way then. See if you have a consign. Done. You do. Okay. So I'm actually kind of fine with that. Trigger. Of course, now if you have an opal, you have Metalcraft. You do not. So in that case, let's go Wooded Foothill. We don't really need a red source all too much here, so just the forest should be fine. Actually, no. Stomping Grounds, Shock. That way we can play the Writhing Chris. Cast Sowing Myco Spawn. And we'll go Eldrazi Temple next turn, so we can kick the Myco Spawn. And hold up the Dismember. For Emery. Emery is fine. There's Kethis, Agatha Soul. Go to combat. I'm just going to take out Tamiyo now. Actually, do you want Tamiyo down? No, I want Emery down. So yeah, you can attack. Trigger. I can't block. Mishra's Bauble. End step. Dismember Emery. You can always attack down the Tamiyo if needed. Bauble target me. Yeah, they took a risky hand, clearly. There's the temple. I guess I didn't need to cast or play that, did I? Green Yard. card. We have 8, 11. I'll kick. Not that you can really play anything, so I'm going to hold off on the Bojuka Bog. Instead, playing a Sanctum of Ugin. Sanctum's a thought. I'll go play Sanctum. Go to combat. Because we'll play Devourer next turn. And pass. And Bone scoops it up. Yeah, this feels a lot more fragile than Grinding Station. So I'm feeling overall confident that the deck just has a long way to go before being truly functional, or at least truly competitive. I think it does just lack that mid-range game plan that made Grinding Station so good. Though I don't see a reason why they couldn't adopt it, right? Like, think for a second. How does Kethis read? Each legendary card. And Basim, I think, reads historic. So if they were to play Urza Saga, right? Then wouldn't Saga trigger... Actually, no, it doesn't, because it's enchantment, not an artifact, right? Yeah, I wonder if maybe playing Saga would be right for Kethis. I don't think that one through. But regardless, solid match 1. We'll be back for match 2. Alright, and we're back for match 2 on the draw for game 1. We'll need a green source, so I'll keep reveal, and pass. Waterlog Grove. Trigger, grab forest. Trigger, grab forest. Draw, forest, sprawl, red. If this doesn't resolve, we're in trouble. I'll tell you that much. Next turn we can summon Mycospawn and set up for Ooh, Ink Moth. Interesting. I'll grab a temple and pass. Ideally, we draw into a land, an untapped land for Breaker. I want to get rid of that Ink Moth ASAP. The only thing I can think of that I'm playing against is Hardened Scales. Fine, Infect. Yep. Okay. No blocks. Draw. Utopia Sprawl. Rip. We can play absolutely nothing. Well, I will attack. For blue. Blue. Spell Pierce. Yes, I will pay. And blue. Bog. Target you. And pass. Yeah, a bit of a subpar turn 3 for us. Breeding Pool. Shock. Huh. Ink Moth. Okay. Blue. Mockingbird on Ink Moth? I was about to say, it becomes a land. Doesn't become a creature. But maybe that's fine for them? So that's the copy. Of course we draw into the temple now. Play the World Break, and we'll attempt to exile the Ink Moth. Okay, go to combat. I had a thought to maybe Null Drift, but I think this is fine. I'm just really confused what I'm playing against. Draws with Grove. I mean, I doubt it's Infect, right? Breeding Pool. Maybe it is Infect. Huh. Draw. Cast. Let's see. Devourer. Devourer trigger, target ignoble hierarch. I'm gonna hold back the World Breaker just in case, but we also have this command. Lethal's on board. And opponent scoops it up. So I think I might be playing against Infect, which is kind of wild. So land destruction and reach good. So we don't want to remove World Breaker Chrysalis. Probably not Null Drift either. Dismember seems solid. Nature's Claim is actually good, now I think about it, because at least that is an artifact. Of course, why am I forgetting the Infect cards that are normally run? But yeah, I think maybe Dismember over some number of returns. I don't foresee needing Bojuka Bog or Ghost Quarter. So with that in mind, we could also either go 3 returns or 3 Nature's Claim. I think 3 returns was probably better. And run it like this. Yeah, I don't think there's a real reason to go up 4. I'm actually really tempted to cut this 4th return, to be completely honest. Doesn't come in all too often, and I feel it's not as impactful. There's a mulligan. There's a keep. And we pitch what? I feel like we need this return. So we want Gemstone. We want Wooded Foothills because we can go Gemstone, Foothills, Talisman, Sprawl. So I think we will pitch the lab. Oh, at the same time, we definitely pitch the lab. Then what do we exile? Might be just right to exile the Sprawl. Yeah, let's do that. Exile the Sprawl. And then pass. And draw. World Break. I will play Temple. And Talisman of Impulse and pass. Let's see if you have another Spell Pierce. Looks like you might. You do not. Hedge Maze. Noble Hierarchy. Yeah, I think this is Infect. Okay. This return should be solid. There's the Blighted Agent. We'll sweep that now, and pass, and pause. Don't want them giving it indestructible if I can help it. Not to mention now return can sweep board for X equals 5, or toughness of 5. Another Blighted Agent, that's fine. I would love to see a Temple off the top. Commercial District trigger. That is not it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I mean, yeah, we'll put that to grave. For green. For blue. Wooded uphill and pass. We'll be able to trigger it next turn. At this point, can't really do anything, so we'll put a pause on end step. And at least next turn we can cast the World Break. 6, yikes. Am I dead? 10. I'm dead. Yeah. Alright. So lost game 2 to Infect. On to game 3. Well, we no longer want the gemstone. We instead do want the Ghost Quarter. Maybe we do want the 4th return in retrospect. Maybe cut the Emrakul. And run it back like this. On the play for game 3. I will keep. And draw. Utopia Sprawl for red. And pass. And pass. Fetch. Breeding Bolt Shock for a Hierarch. Yep. Makes sense. So what I want to do here then is Misty Rainforest. Fetch. Let's go Forest. For blue? For blue. And Rumble. Grab an Eldrazi Temp. So next turn we can kick and then some. And pass. Actually, will you have enough to kick and return? I don't think so in retrospect. Because 6, 7, 8, unless we draw into a 7 mana value spell. Yes. Glistener Elf, Sylvan Scribe. Now that's unexpected. Ink Moth, so we will kick then. Draw. Temp. And kick. And we'll play a temple. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So yes, next turn we can bring back the World Breaker and play it. And pass. And pass. Oh, actually, yes, we can. I just remembered since I have the spawn, we're good. If we didn't have the spawn, then no, we wouldn't be able to in actuality. But we good. Rot Priest. Okay. Hierarch. And hold. Another Myco spawn. Let me just confirm something real quick. That's the red one. I'll kick the breeding pool. Generate green. Grab another temple. Might of Old Krosa. Yes, that is fine. Interesting. Why do that? Go to combat. I think we might just want to command here. Or return, rather. And pass. And pause on end step. We can sweep board next turn if needed. Another Sylvan Scrying, probably for another Ink Moth. Yep, but that won't matter. I will fetch with the Wooded Foothill for a commercial district. Trigger, rumble on top, and draw. Let's go to combat first. Windswept Teeth. I will cast Rumble. Grab a Zoin Mycospawn. In that case, I will just kick with Mycospawn. Kick the Ink Moth, and Bone scoops it up. Yeah, I think we just have too much land destruction for that, and our sweepers are pretty solid against them, so pretty happy with that result. Definitely surprised to see Infect, but always cool to see it. That said, we'll be back for match 3. Alright, and we're back for match 3 on the play for game 1. Let's take a look at our opening hand. I mean, what makes this hand good? Malevolent Rumble would be solid. Command would be okay. A turn 3 Mycospawn would also be okay. We can keep it. We do get a draw 2 off the Drifter, so I'll keep. We'll imprint Emrakul. We'll start there. And pass. I'll go Cavernous Souls, evoke Drifter, draw 2. And pass. Scouting Tarn and passing. Draw. Okay, return's nice, but this feels like it's not exactly going to be the most aggressive of matchups. Cavernous Souls, name Eldrazi. And I will evoke the Null Drifter. And pass. Utopia Sprawl, okay. Devour's nice, but not great right now. University Sewers does seem to be Murktide. So this Devour will be useful soon. And pass. And Throj. And draw. Another lab. That's actually kind of perfect, especially if we can resolve this Utopia Sprawl. Let's go Utopia Sprawl. For red. And pass. That will allow us to exile Froge. It's a bit of a slow start, but we can make it work. Snow-covered island. Wonder why. Zeal attack with Froge. Pitching an Echo. Oh, so this is that deck. The Echo of Eons. Okay. So now they can play Narset. They're going to set up for the flashbacks. We're not exiling Frog, we're going to be exiling the Narset. That much is clear. Cannot exactly allow that to take place. Now can we? Draw. World Breaker. Ugin Lab. Imprint Emrakul. Exile Narset. No, thank you, friend. Next turn we can cast World Breaker, get rid of a land if needed, and pass. Let's see, how does this read again? Yeah, basically it's Days Undoing, though it doesn't end the turn. That is actually notable, so it does work pretty well with, let's say, Bowmaster. So you can pitch 3 if you want. That's half your hand. So I'm not exactly hard-pressed about this. I don't want you drawing a card. Would be bad. That's the Consider gone. Polluted Delta, 2 cards left. Fetch with Polluted Delta. Tis a Swamp. A Shieldred, you say? Well, that's just rude. So that does work pretty hand in hand. Huh. Well, I can't exactly let them just attack in freely now, can I? The problem is that I think I just lose, right? Yeah. Because they'll flash back the Echo. And from that we lose because we're going to take 14 damage. I mean, they could just cast that and then end the turn and I'll die to Shieldred on upkeep, eh? Huh. Interesting. So let's label this Echo of Eons, as this isn't really the traditional, like, Days Undoing control, nor is it traditional Murktide. We also don't know if Murktide's in here, I suppose. I mean, all you do now, cast the Echo. Yep, cast a flashback. I have nothing I can do there. I guess we could have theoretically held up the command. But yeah, by drawing 7, we just more or less die. Down to 2. Actually, I think we have a stop on upkeep. Oh no, it doesn't matter. They'll just attack him with both. Unless they get cheeky. Yeah, they should just attack him with both, I was about to say. Yep, you got it. Yeah, if I had a little bit more life, we could have commanded the Shieldred on upkeep so I wasn't dead, but it was not the case. Alright. Well, let's go to sideboard. I mean, Dismember is solid here. I wonder if Return is worth it versus, let's say, Soulless Jailer, since it seems like their main thing they're angling for is Echo of Eons flashback. So Soulless Jailer does work well there. We want the Bajuka Bog. We don't need the Ghost Quarters or the Caverns right now. I'm gonna run it back like this, I think. Yeah, Bowmaster, Shieldred, pretty solid. And it does work much better than Days Undoing, because like I said, Days Undoing, the triggers wouldn't be on the stack. I wonder if this deck has more legs than I first gave it credit for. Otherwise, it feels like a bad version of Murktide, so I'm not sure. Hard for me to say with any degree of certainty. It's like almost in a way a worse version of Control and a worse version of Murktide. Just really trying to lean into the angle of flashbacking Echo of Eons with either Narset or Shieldred. But it's not doing either strategy like exceptionally well. But might be better than I initially gave it credit for. We'll have to see. I think the only thing I could have really done there is resolve Emrakul, but we were just a wee bit short. So we had 8 down to 6, plus 3 is 9, yeah. Just a wee bit short. On the play for game 2. We can keep this. Ugin Lab, Imprint Emrakul, cast Talisman, and pass. And pass. It is an Eland, and draw. And Writhing Chrysalis. Short of a Consign, this should resolve. I guess they could also subtlety it, but that feels pretty aggressive off the bat. Here's the Consign, okay. And I still get what I want, which is the ramp. Why the snow cover? I still haven't figured that one out. Play a Tamiyo. And draw. Tis another Chrysalis. Resolve. So they can't attack with the Tamiyo now. Consider their options. I'm gonna hold the command here. Go to combat. Sneaky reach. Sneaky reach. Unless they have a way to flip it. Go to blocks. Trigger. Did they try and flip it by drawing a card and then a cantrip? And we can just run in a command. So consider number 1. Crack the clue. Perfect. Cast. Spawn exile. Done. And triggers on the stack. Pass. paying cost? I was about to say, what are you paying cost with? You have a Flare of Denial? Draw. Temple. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Play the Temple. Play the Talisman. Go to combat. Down to 14 and hold up the command. Tease a swamp. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 11. I mean, if we just x equals 2 here, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 12. No, I think we hold. There's no reason to cast that right now, is there? Much better to maybe hold out. Down to 8. Lethal's now on board. We can use the command as permission for the world break. Consider their options. Scouting Tarn into yard. And hold the command. So yeah, like I said, we'll use that as permission for the world breaker. Not to mention, if Writhing Chrysalis goes unblocked, they just lose. So I guess they could have a fatal push. Narset. In response. And done. Let's see here. Bottom. Drifter's not really doing too much. I mean, we have lethal once again. So I'm wondering how I want to proceed. So I'm kind of thinking that I go Jailer. Yeah, let's go Jailer top, Rumble, Jailer top, Drifter top, Rumble top and draw. And pass. Another Narset. And draw. Writhing Chrysalis will attack at you. Sack 1. Sack 2. Lethal damage. Okay, so you do have it. Rotograve Shock to 5, and... or not. Probably should have done a few things beforehand, but c'est la vie. Let's see, we want the gemstone, and we still want the bog, so what we cut here, I guess we don't need the breaker as much. It really isn't as impactful as, let's say, Emrakul. Well, I guess Emrakul is only impactful if, like, they have frog, because then we can, like, pitch their hand. I think we still cut the breaker, though. I think it's maybe one of the lesser impactful cards here. Let's run it back. Let's say you, opponent. On the draw for game 3, we can keep I will keep. I will pass. Tamiyo resolves. Draw. Well, that changes things. So we can go Ugin Lab, Imprint, Talisman, and pass. You have a force? Nope. And pass. And there's a land and shock and passing. Well, let's play Wooded Foothills and fetch. And go Stomping Grounds or Breeding Pool. Let's go. I guess we don't have anything for red. So maybe just go Forest. I guess we do have. What am I talking about? We do have things for red. I always forget about the Writhing Chrysalis for some reason. Topia Sprawl. For red. And cast the Sowing Mycospawn. You have a consign. No consign, so Ugin Lab. Imprint. Cast, Jailer, and pass. So what do you have in hand that you shocked for? Just to draw a card? Maybe. We can play anything in our deck right now short of Emrakul. And pass. Yeah, reach. Trigger. So they could. No, they're short on flipping Tamiyo. Draw. Sanctum. 2, 4, 5. Play the Sanctum. And play the Talisman. And go to combat with Sowing Mycospawn. Okay. This might mean they have a Fatal Push. Okay, now this is just strange. So this tells me they have another Bowmaster? Interesting. Okay. Paying cost. Ah, I see. Ping the Mycospawn. It grows. Didn't think about that, but that is cute. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 3 short. I do have the Echo. Trigger. Like, I want to Null Drift, but I feel like that'd be unwise given this Bowmaster on board. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We'll just go with a Rumble then. Does Rumble resolve? Sowing Mycospawn. And we shall kick. Well, 6. Yes, we shall do this. Hold back the Emrakul. Get rid of reach. If I'm able to search for a land, we're going to grab Cavernous Souls. Fetch for Polluted Delta. Sewers. Discard a card. Well, that's fine by me. Target me. So that means they don't have a consign in hand, which is good news. Another Echo in yard. I'll go Cavernous Souls and name Eldrazi. And at that point, we'll pass. Again, unless you deal with this jailer, you can't play Echo. Go to combat, Temur attacks, makes another clue. You sure do have a lot of clues. Consider their options. Sewers into hand. And puts one card on top. I'm going to turn Emrakul to hand. And draw. Play Misty Rain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Triggers. Do I want... No, I think we'll hold off on the Sanctum. I'm going to say no for now. And I will... No, I don't think I'll go to combat. Our turn, comrade. Paying cost for a clue. I mean, that's another card that I get to work with. Shoot the Sheriff, eh? Counterspell, Frog. A lot of good options here, honestly. So we could... Not worried about Echo right now. Not necessarily worried about Narset. Surprised they haven't shot the Jailer. So let's see then. And I also could just actually play Frog and basically pitch everything and exile everything. That's a thought. And then shoot the Sheriff at the end. Yeah, I think that's actually what we do. So let's do that. I hate the window sometimes. So I will cast Zephroj. I'm going to activate its ability, pitch a Consider. Okay. Activate its ability, pitch a Counterspell. Yep. I'm going to pitch a Echo, pitch a Narset. I'm going to then exile 3 cards from graveyard. Echo, Echo, Echo. I'm going to exile another 3 cards from yard. Consider, Consider, Counterspell. And Consider. Alright. I'm going to exile another 3, since I'll send another 2 to yard. 1, 2, 3. Yep. And then I'm going to attack in with Tamiyo Bowmaster. Tamiyo triggers. Get a clue. Go to blockers. Block and block. And then shoot the sheriff, target the frog. The frog's now a sheriff. And at that point, your turn. Put a pause on end step. I'm not exactly concerned about whatever they could possibly play. Draws a card. End step fetch with the Misty Rain for a commercial district. Trigger. Devour of Destiny on top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Unfortunately, this is not lethal damage. We are short of it. 1, 2, trigger 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Devour the orc. No. Go to combat. And pass. Paying cost for Bowmaster. Bowmaster target me. I guess you could target the Soin Microspawn and then double block. Yeah, I mean, that's fine by me. Alright, and we'll pass. Draw a card. And I imagine you just scoop at this point. Draw a card. Go to combat. Lethal damage. And we got there. Good stuff. Alright. We'll be back for match 4. Alright, and we're back for match 4 on the draw for game 1. Hand's interesting. We could go Breeding Pool, Sprawl, Talisman of Impulse, Talisman. I mean, it's pretty significant amounts of ramp off the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, we'll keep. I mean, one Soul Lane gets us a breaker on what, 3? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah. Draw. Breeding Pool, Shock, Utopia Sprawl. On red. And pass. Ooh, hold on. Could this be... No, it's probably not Living End. I thought for a second it might be Tamiyo, Island, Passing, Chrysalis. No reason not to play a land, because you probably want to go Stomping Grounds, Shock, Talisman, into Talisman, and pass. So next turn we at least have a Writhing Chris. 2, 5, yeah. So if we go, we find a Soul Land, which we have 8 hits off the top, then we can play Breaker and Null Drift. I want to go Breaker. Null Drift. Flip Tamiyo. Well, now we definitely want pressure on board. This is interesting to me. Could be turns. It very well might be. Draw. So in Mycospawn, so that is a kicked Mycospawn. Fetch. Forest. So 6 minus 2 would be 4, so we can't do that, but we can do this. Kick an island out, trying to reduce their mana as much as possible if this is turns. We do not want to let them get to 5. In that case, I'm kind of tempted to go Ghost Quarter, but I think we will stick with Temple. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, I'll go Temple. Bumps me up to 8 mana. If we draw into a land, we'll be able to play Writhing Chrysalis and World Breaker. And pass. Temur, of course, will tick up. Okay, so I was right. It is turns. Temple. And draw. Perfect. So I can do this. We'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 left over. Trigger. Trigger 1. Always yield. Trigger 2. Take out the temp. And then go to combat. Attack at Tamiyo. Down to 4. Next turn, I'll play Null Drift. Up to 6. Another Talisman. Yeah, we need to take out that Tamiyo no matter what. They could go Command X equals 1 and block the Drift. Not the Drift, the World Breaker. Utopia Sprawl is mana neutral. So I will go red. I will, let's see, how do I want to proceed? I guess I should have played the Drift first. We're going to attack all at Tamiyo. Cannot let you live, friend. Because X equals 1 would block you, and even then Tamiyo's not down. Because we just can't let it be able to grab back a Time Warp. Scry draw top. Puts it on top and draw. Block the World Break. Yep, that's expected. I will cast one, two, three. Draw 2. A return. Well, I will go Rumble. Let's go with another Sowing Myco spawn. And at that point, we'll pass. They have enough for an extra turn. I mean, the question now is, can I just win on the spot, right? Tick up. Where's your Time Warp? Yep, there's Time Warp number 1. Tamiyo will be able to grab back Time Warp again. So we'll have at least 2 extra turns. I do wonder if maybe I should have Drifted first. I did consider that, and I think in retrospect I should have, because then Tamiyo would have been dead, right? So I think I missequenced there. Yeah. There also was a thought that maybe we should have just Null Drift. Oh, I guess I should have evoked Null Drift. Yeah, in retrospect, I think that would have been correct. Because if we had evoked the Null Drifter, then Writhing Chrysalis would have grown, and Tammy would have been down. Yeah. So, not even a missed sequence, just a misplay. There's Time Warp, number 2. Draw a card. Brain Surge. So this is against turns. So I had the right idea, just not the right execution. Against turns, what's my plan here? Maybe Stone Brain? Consigned Memory is not really good, actually. When we used to play Warping Mode, that would have been fine. So maybe Stone Brain, yeah. And just Stone Brain out Time Warp. Obviously, there's the Miracle, but I think just Stone Brain Time Warp might be enough. And at the same time, they play Devourer, they play... Maybe Consign is right. There's Tamiyo. Time Warp. Next turn, they'll be able to flip Tamiyo. Unless they can do it now. Draw a card. Yeah, so slight missequence might cost me this game. Alright, once again, not even a missequence, just a misplay by not evoking Drifter. Evoking Drifter would have grown the Chrysalis, and that would have meant Tamiyo would have been down. And they would have been able to get their second turn. Which, like, maybe still wouldn't have been enough, but obviously... Let's see what you got, opponent. Jace. So that will flip Tamiyo. Obviously, couldn't have attacked first because we have Drifter. Do they have the ability to set for an extra turn, though? That is the question. We're definitely going to Bajuka Bog our opponent. So do you have land Time Warp? Eldrazi Temp. Well, I will go... I want to kick Mega Spawn after. So we need Jace down and Tamiyo down. So we can go Drifter at Jace. And then World Breaker at Tamiyo. Writhing Chrysalis at Tamiyo. And I guess sowing Mega Spawn at Tamiyo as well. So triggers across the board. We of course can grow the Writhing Chryst if needed. And they can command X equals 2 for blockers. Yep, that is fine. And then we'll sweep with return. I guess I didn't have to attack that far into Tamiyo then in retrospect. So I will sack, trigger, Utopia Sprawl, return. Yeah, so I didn't need to be that aggressive. Could have done 7 to them. Annihilator 1, which means they should then sack the Jace or the Tamiyo. Sacks the Jace. Tamiyo down, second main phase. I will kick with the Mycospawn and grab a Jukabog. The Jukabog, this means that Emrakul should be offline. And pass. Yeah, we should have dealt 7 damage down to 13, but I think we still have lethal on board. Ugin Lab for a Null Drift. There's Jace. Jace can return. Nope, this is going to draw 3. You do need Jace down, so we can attack Null Drift at Jace. 5, 10, 16. But we have lethal, though. So do we just attack all at face? And opponent's going to scoop it up. I'll say I definitely won by the skin of my teeth there. I think we were, due to our misplay, and I think 2 misplays, we almost lost that for sure. I don't play against turns all too often, but it is good to start to learn how. I think Consign is good over Return. At the same time, Dismember might be beneficial. The only problem is I don't want to get rid of Bog or Ghost Quarter. But we could... No, Devour is actually decent here. I wonder if we just drop that Emrakul. And then bring one back in if we go onto the play. Yeah, let's do that. I also wonder if Brain is good, just take out Time Warp, but then they at least have a mid-range game plan with Null Drifter, with Devour, etc. I don't think it's great, but it is definitely possible. I mean, the only thing that makes his hand good is a Lab, right? I don't think we can keep this mulligan. I've taken risky hands like that, but I think not today. I'll drop a Devourer. We'll reveal Devourer. They reveal Devourer. We're looking for a Soul Land. Let's see, any Time Warps in there? No. Trigger. No Soul Land. In that case, tempted to grab either Misty or the Talisman. Let me grab the Talisman and draw. So this way we can go Wooded Foothill, Shock, and a Breeding Pool. Play Sprawl for red. And pass. Next turn I can play the Talisman and District. A bit of ramping that way. And draw a Lab. Oh, that is convenient. Imprint Devourer. And cast Chrysalis. No Consign. And I will pass. X equals 1. That resolves. Trigger 1. Trigger 2. Cast Command, Scry Draw Exile. This is much like the Mirror, just a war of resources. So getting rid of the spawn I think is correct. Rumble's solid, we'll pass. And pass. What are we thinking, opponent? An island, so at 3. Could command X equals 2. Draw, gemstone. I'm thinking we play the Rumble. At the same time, I guess I could play Gemstone, Talisman, Talisman, Rumble. Yeesh. We can go Utopia Sprawl, gives us more ramp. I guess it's mana neutral next turn. We don't need to cast the Utopia Sprawl next turn and hold up the blue for the Feign Consign. Two, three, four, 5. Brain Surge. It's possible they have the Miracle. If they do, that could prove to be a problem. At this point, we'll just hold the Feign that we have something. Yeah, there's the Temporal Mastery. There's the lab, Imprint Devourer. They now have 5. Yeah, this could be an issue. Six mana. There's the Time Warp. And pass. Adawara. I wonder if maybe we should have played the Sprawl. At the same time, feigning a Consign's not a bad idea here. The Utopia Sprawl is mana neutral. Alright, another turn for opponent. Casting a Tamiyo, no. X equals 1. Or command. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So they might be trying to cast an Emrakul here, which would be a bit unfortunate. Jace resolves. Yeah, I do think maybe we should have played the Sprawl. Ashiok, well that's just rude. At this point we'll pass in full. And draw World Breaker. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. So let's start with Commercial District. Trigger. Writhing Chrysalis. Actually might be fine. We'll keep that on top. Utopia Sprawl onto the Breeding Pool. Currently it's on red. I'll put it on blue, so green, blue, red. World Breaker, target their Ugin's Lab. And pass. Draws 3. Tempted them, in retrospect, maybe should have dropped the Chrysalis into Yard, but then again, whatever I have on top is going to get eaten by Ashiok anyways. Yeah, it's a bit of a moot point, I suppose. Well, there's time warp number 3. You're running out of extra turns unless you can return cards to hand. I say as you have another Temporal Mastery, Jesus. Yes. Could have sworn they only played like a copy of that. Clearly not. Brain Surge. I mean, they need a Tamiyo, right? Land. Draw 3. Target me. And pass. Yeah, I'd like a land off top. Not sure if we would get rid of the Jace to the Ashiok, though. Realistically speaking, what I want to do is get rid of a Tamiyo if they play it, but otherwise we'll play Writhing Chrysalis. Tis a land. Ashiok, target me. Did we actually get a turn? We get to play again? Holy hell. Temple, that's perfect. Let's see. Let's first off and foremost go and attack Jace. See if this lands. I'm doubtful. Attack Jace. Three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we cannot play Chrysalis and Devourer, so we can just play Devourer. Paying cost for a big ol' command to block. And now command. Do it, tap out. Yeah, won't. Looks like they will. So this does present a problem, though. Specifically in the fact that Emrakul is coming up, I think. And that alone can kill me. I'll get rid of Jace. Yeah, I didn't have any blue sources to hold, so I couldn't have Feigned a Consign now, could I? Yeah, this is Emrakul, no doubt about it. Even if a Jukabog wouldn't have stopped this. Oh, it's the Aeon Storm. I forgot about that. That it wasn't Promised End for some reason. When they attack for lethal damage, yes, you got it. I cannot block, so lost there. Go to sideboard. Oh, we will cut the gemstone, bring back in an Emrakul, and run it back. Yeah, definitely an interesting matchup on the play for game 3. I will keep. I'd love to see a soul land off the top. So we'll go Verdant Catacombs. At the same time, I'd love to fetch for a blue source. So I think we go Verdant Catacombs, fetch for Breeding Pool, and hold up Consign. Burning Catacombs, pass. Put a pause on end step. Eland. Fetch. For Breeding Pool. Tapped. Draw. Breaker. Forest. Rumble. There's an Ugin Lab. And pass. Revealed, island cycle, yep. And they play a soul land. We might want to hold up the command just to exile the spawn. Unless they don't hold. Talisman instead. That's 3. Excuse me. Excuse me again. Lab Imprint Breaker. And we'll pass. Holding up command and consign. So they have a soul land. They do not. Tamio. Yep. Paying cost for Talisman. Okay. End step. Command X equals 2. And done. You have a consign of your own. You do not. Pass. Let's see, we have 3, 6, so we'll kick Myco Spawn. Kick the temp. Unfortunately, kicking islands here really doesn't do as much as I would like. Looks like they have a consign after all. Targeting the kick. Interesting. I could consign the trigger, but I think I'll let this resolve. The body resolves. I'll play Bajuka Bog and target you. And pass. And hold. They have enough for extra turns now. Ugin Lab. No imprint. We'll hold. That was strange. Let me just hold command. Excuse me. Excuse me again. Oof. Cast sowing, or not cast, but attack with sowing Myco Spawn. I will cast a Talisman of Curiosity. And hold. Do you have a command? I think you do. Cast, target, and pass. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I could go command X equals 1. Null Drift. Yeah, Null Drift's a little bit of a problem. Draw 2. We'll pause on end step. Island. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'd need a soul land off top. Well, let's go for it. Surely probably played this when they were tapped out. Got the soul land I was looking for. And pass. And draw. Return Worldbreaker to hand. Target temple. And pass. Do you have a consign? You do. You get the body. That is a bit unfortunate, I will admit. And pass. We'll sack the MTGO. Take the 4. Another talisman. Do you have another turn? Oof. Oh, okay, that's fine. Plays a land. Imprint or no imprint? No imprint. And draw. Dismember is perfect. In that case, let's dismember now. Drifter down. Stomping Grounds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Tapped. And we can return Worldbreaker to hand. Jace. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Do we want to return Worldbreaker to hand now? End step. World break. Sacrifice the lab. Do you have a command? Potentially, for x equals 2 to get rid of both world breaks. So yeah, maybe I should have done that when they were tapped out, but we also wanted to hold up. That is fine. A bit frustrating, but okay. Pass and draw. Trigger the, or target the Jace. Jace down. I will play a lab and pass. 5 plus 8 is 13, so we do have enough for Emrakul off the top. Alright, let's see what you got. 2, 5, 8, 10. There's an extra turn. Yes, me? No, she wants out. Alright, opponent, what you doing? Oh, you brain surged as well. Understood. And pass. Can't really do much else at this point. There's the mastery. And at this point, they're just trying to get to Emrakul, I think. Null Drift. Null Drift will be able to attack next turn. And we pass. There's another turn. Yikes. I'll attack with Null Drift. We'll sack, I guess, a lab, question mark? Command X2. Not sure why they didn't hold that. Island, probably because they can cast the Emrakul. We'll sack the Talisman. Can't block. And pass. I actually just might straight up die to Null Drift. Yeah, I mean, they get 2 more attacks now. Yeah, what an interesting deck. Devourer. They attack with Null Drift again. We'll sacrifice the lab. So we don't have any. We don't have enough for much, do we? Down to 5. We'll pass one more time. Do you have another extra turn? Attack. Annihilator. Sacrifice the forest. Block with the Devourer. Down to 1. And that's the extra turn that they need to win. You got it, opponent. I'll concede out. Yeah, turns is an interesting one. I do genuinely wonder if this will pick up steam and see a higher play rate. Hard to say. Either ways, I don't think I've won. Maybe I've won 1 or 2 against turns. I do wonder if maybe Stonebrain is right to get rid of Time Warp. This is one of my issues with Stonebrain, is just like against a deck that has a mid-range backup plan, it kind of feels a bit meh, and turns is definitely one of those decks. I'm not sure. That being said, we'll be back for match 5. Alright, and we're back for match 5. On the draw for game 1, I will keep Reveal, looking for a Soul Land, and pass. Herding Cat and pass. Trigger. Let's go Utopia Sprawl. Acts as a Soul Land. Forest. Sprawl on red. Pass. Fetch for Lush Portico. That's not a card you see every day, so I'm kind of intrigued. Breeding Pool, Shock. Malevolent Rumble. Okay, so this looks like it is Kethis Combo again. Chooses the Mishra's Bauble. And draw. I will imprint the Emrakul and hold. This way we can cast a Devourer next turn. We can also clear board if needed. Just passing. Interesting. Emery. Emery trigger. There's Aggie, Beseiju, Flooded Strand fetch. Temple Garden Shock for Delighted Halfling. I mean, even more tempted to return now. Well, I guess I could just go Command, Ramp Exile, Exile Halfling. Done. So Halfling down. And then Devourer, the Emery. Draw. Chrysalis. We'll play that next turn. Exile Emery and pass. At least this way we now have a threat on board. Bob will target me and pass. Shifting Woodlands, Amber, 3 cards in hand. There's another Emery, so I'm probably going to sweep board. Thankfully, can we do both? No, we need a soul land if we want to do that. Ask and you shall receive. Though actually we'll still be short on red, won't we? Yeah. Go to combat. Attack of Devourer. Down to 8. Play Misty Rain. And K-Return. Six minus 2. Oh no, I could have. Yeah, because 6 minus 2 would be 4. It was 1, 2, 3. Yeah, no, I messed up. I could play the Chrysalis. That's on me. Put a pause on end step. Why did I think I needed a temple? There's Kethis. There's the Jace. Do they have enough mana? Aggie. Opal. One, two, three. Jace. Mill self. So I think they have it if they have the other Jace, right? Yeah. Yeah, once this goes off, it just kind of goes off. No real stopping it, short of a K command. Well, other than that missequence, I think we played as optimally as possible. Let's see what their game plan is, if it's just to mill me out or mill themselves out. Either ways, I think they win. Fun enough trying to mill me if they don't kill me, though, actually would allow me to cast the Emrakul, and that could get interesting. Target self, down to 3. I don't see the other Jace yet. So I wonder if they will attempt to mill me out then. I mean, I think they should have, they just need, what, 4 Jaces, basically? And not even the 4th one doesn't even need to be completed. Yeah, so I just recast all the Ambers and Opals. It's definitely like a turn or two slower than Breach, but definitely far more interactable. There's 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10. 10 Oh, so that actually works even better because then they can -4 Jace, bounce the Jace, recast the Jace. Yeah. Yeah, so they start milling me now. Yep. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah, so. I mean, if we don't die, then we win. But if we do die, we lose. I think we do die, though. I think they should have enough legendaries in Yard. Not to mention the fact that they can pick up the Jace with the Fairy, right? Yep, they just play all the opals. I do wonder if this will become more popular. Though, as I've mentioned before, it definitely seems much more interactable. Because once Kethis is offline, the question is, then what? I wonder if it'd be overboarded if we go both Jailer and Brain plus Dismember. What do we even cut for that? Obviously the returns. You could cut 2 lands in Gemstone and Ghost Quarter. You'd only be able to cut 2 7-mana value spells though. Probably Emrakul, question mark. Maybe Drifter. They just keep on going. I mean, yeah, at this point they should have enough for 2 Jace. And then -15. And then last but not least, they can cast the last one from grave. Yep. And they got it. Cool. Alright, interesting. So it seems like, yeah, they're not even using the Jace that wins when they have nothing left in library. That's good to know. So, Kethis Combo, lost for game 1. Let's move the sideboard. So I really want like 6 cards here. We don't want return. Don't want Gemstone or Ghost Quarters. So we need to cut 3. We can cut 2 Emrakul. Oh, you want the Worldbreaker and the Devourer. No Drifter I can kind of give or take, so maybe cut some number of Drifters, but not sure. Guess we could cut a Writhing Chris. Is this overboarded? That's what I'm not sure about. We'll cut a Writhing Chris and run it back like this. Yeah, let's do that. Because Jailer gives us time, and then Brain lets us strip out the core of their combo. Unlike other combo decks, this doesn't feel like they have a really strong mid-range game plan created just yet. I can keep. Question of the day, do we go Jailer or Brain? I think we go Brain. I really do think they need to, like, run Saga, but I'm not sure if they can support it. Devourer for... Maybe grab a land. Yeah. Imprint, Brain, and pass, and pass. Bobble. I mean, just Brain named Kethis, and then we'll see if they have any real recourse. Amber. and draw. Brain, target you. Name Kethis, the hidden hand. There's Boseiju. So they can cast Boseiju next turn. I'm not exactly pressed on that. Yeah, so let's look at the rest of their deck. Yeah, they have really nothing short of, like, I don't know, just... Oh, so they do play Wielder of Mysteries. Interesting. Guess we just didn't see it. Well, I will play Verdant Cat. Fetch. Knowing that they have Boseiju, of course, we'll go for a basic forest. Yeah, so maybe I'm starting to lean more and more towards the Stone Brain rather than Oof. We'll go Forest, Utopia Sprawl for blue or red. Let's go red because they're going to Boseiju at some point. We can get Breeding Pool and pass. So they can bobble target self, then fetch. Nope, those fetch. Tis a Hedge Maze. Shifting Woodland and pass. Verdant Cat, fetch. Temple Garden, shock, and Emery. Okay. Boseiju, yes. I'll grab the Breeding Pool and tapped and draw. Let's start with Talisman. Jailer. We'll have to bounce Jailer before they activate or can cast anything from Yard. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Put it on top for now. And pass. And pass. Have fun casting that. Yep, you need to bounce it first. Bounced. Play an Amber Bauble. And pass. Draw. Another Jailer. Play Sanctum. And pass. We need a land for Breaker. Malevolent Rumble. Consign. Grab Aggie. Or Tamiyo. Again, you can't cast it unless you deal with Jailer first. And holding up a blue source. Suspect. Misty Rainforest fetch. For a forest. World Breaker, target Hedge Maze. Do you have a consign? You target the body or the triggers? There's consigned to memory. First one targets the body, second one targets the Sanctum trigger. Interesting. Alright, that's fine by me. We'll pass. Let's see, so we have 7, so we're short. Even if we were to draw into a temple to bring back Breaker, so ideally want to draw something off top. Something castable. Portico. Why not play the Tamiyo? Weird. Could be another consign. Well, I can't cast that at instant speed as much as I would like to be able to. X equals 3. What's happening here? Oh, because I need double colorless. Ooh, right. So I can't hold back for the Breaker. Alright. Done. Trigger. Does it resolve? Or do you have another consign? Here comes consign. Yep, that checks out. Alright, we'll pass. And pass. And pass. Pretty Bull shocked. 2 unknowns. Will you bounce the Jailer? 3/4 Jace. Jace. Tef plus. And Jace. Mill Sylph. Draw. Sprawl. Sprawl for red. Is this for blue or red? This one is for red. So for blue. And pass. Bob will target me. Tis an opal. Tis a Tamiyo. Yep. Jailer back, Tamiyo flip. We will need to deal with the Tamiyo. Tamiyo or Emery target Bobble. Play Bobble. Halfling. Leaving 2 in hand, question mark? One, two. Okay. Chase tick up. And put a pause on end step. Return World Breaker. Sacrifice Bajuka Bog. Not Bajuka Bog, Jesus. Breeding Pool. I would like a Bajuka Bog. Land. Brain. Well, that's interesting. We could simply play Brain. There's 4 consigns, so we don't need to worry about consign. We could just Brain the Jace. So let's start with Jailer. There's Jailer resolve. Stonebrain. Stonebrain target you. I want to just check something real quick. So Jace. Not the Perfected. Is it Unraveler of Secrets or Wielder of Mysteries? Let's take a look real quick like. I think it's Wielder of Mysteries. Jace. Wielder of Mysteries, right? Yes, Wielder of Mysteries. So now they lose out on their win con, short of just milling me out. So I'll get rid of Jace, and we'll pass. Next turn we can play Worldbreaker, start breaking down their board to best of our abilities. Will target me. I guess they could Otawara the Soulless Jailer. Chase. They do mill me. Oh, look at that. Another Worldbreaker. I would have liked that sowing Myco spawn, though, I will admit. Grabs back Consign. That is troublesome. Draw. Another Stonebrain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wish I had some more, but I think we just send it to get rid of the Consign. We'll get rid of the Breeding Pool. And the next turn with Consign and Yard, we can just get rid of the Consigns, so that way Tamiyo can't just lock us out. Yep. No triggers, no nothing. And pass. Yeah, because if Tamiyo can't grab back Consign, then what? Misty Rain. Malevolent Rumble. I was about to say, how the hell did they just play Malevolent Rumble, but... Right. Chooses Beseiju. I mean, they need to win before they mill themselves out. So what's their game plan for that? I guess mill me out. Fairy Plus. So again, they have the Beseiju. Yes. I'll grab Stomping Grounds tapped. There's Jace, ticked up. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Emery. Plays Aggie. I guess Aggie can start stripping the World Breakers from Yard. And I guess that is a thought. Draw. Devourer. We know they don't have Consign, so we can just get rid of Tamiyo outright. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh. I done did mess up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Sanctum trigger. Exile Tamiyo. Because we know they don't have any more Consigns currently. I think they're just fighting a losing battle, right? Is Bojuka Bog in Yard? No. Otawara, target Tamiyo. Okay. So now they need to flip the Tamiyo. I will crack and grab a Sowing Mycospawn and pass. Because now we can Bojuka Bog and just rid ourselves of the consigns, period. Yeah. If they want to bounce the Devour, that's fine too. Targeted World Breaker, yep. That checks out. What's their plan now, opponent? So Ottawa is out. Jace target me? Yes. Oh, Jace is out, so they have another Jace. Yeah, Jace could get a bit problematic. So now they can mill 15, me down to 10. We're now on even footing then, aren't we? If they have Bog, that would be unfortunate. They did not. Lucky me. There's Tamiyo. Emery doing Emery things. Bauble. Tef plus. Again, we can't really grab back the World Breaker, unfortunately. To 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 minus 2 would be 5, so no, I cannot. I will instead kick. Do we need to kick? I guess is a good question. Maybe not. I'm also wondering if maybe, because right now we lose to what? Jace? And specifically Jace. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have 4, 7. 7 minus 2 would be 5. Trigger. Much as I would like to deal with Tamiyo, I think we actually get rid of Jace. Trigger Chrysalis. Always yield. Jace. Perfected Mind, right? Let's confirm the Perfected Mind, yes. One left in the deck. 1, 2. It's only 3 total. Wheeler Mysteries is already in there. So it looks like that should be it. Okay. And at that point, we pass. So now they can't mill me out. I should have attacked in retrospect. Fetch down the 12. Should have probably attacked the Teferi. Fails to find. And pass. I mean, at this point, I don't think they can win through combat damage. And they can't reduce the cards in my library anymore. They're always going to be one short, and opponent scoops it up. Okay, we got there. So yeah, it looks like Brain Jailer is definitely the way to go. Seems like their backup plan overall is to just have Jace basically mill me out. maybe we just got another Chrysalis. Yeah. And run it back. On draw for game 3, I will keep. So reveal, play. We want to keep the Devourer. I think we exile the commercial districts. And pass. Trigger. Malevolent Rumble. Ugin Lab. Imprint. And cast. Thinking that we grab another Sowing Myco spawn. Either that or a Jailer, honestly. Like, we can go Sowing Myco spawn and Sowing Myco spawn kicked off of command. Otherwise, Jailer just makes their life really difficult. I think we go Jailer. In fact, play Jailer now. Pass. And pass. Next turn we can command X equals 2. Seiju, that is fine. Not ideal, but fine. Stomping Grounds, tapped. Draw. Sprawl. Burning Catacombs, fetch. Forest. Sprawl on the forest. For blue, red, blue. And pass. Unfortunately, we cannot cast command now. Next turn we'll play Myco. Mishra's Bauble, passing. Interesting. Another command. In that case, cast the Sowing Myco. Do you have a command? Oh, not command, a consign. You do have consign. We'll pass. Oh, they didn't replicate? Weird. Why not? I'm gonna guess a misclick and or a misplay in general. There's Emery. Emery's fine. There's a Kethis. And draw. Wooded Foothills. I mean, we could get rid of Emery. Tempting. We can only cast one command right now. Grab the forest. Command. I mean, do we need to get rid of the Emery is the question. Yeah. Let's scry draw and ramp. Do you have another consign? You do. Shock. And pass. And pass. Four, three. And Jace. Holding up a blue source, I suppose. Mills self a pithy needle. Draw. Temple. let's try this again. I think we hold up a green and red source though. So we can hold up these two. Done. Really? Well, I was never resolving those, was I? Jesus. Pass. The Seiju. Let's do it to shuffle. We fail to find. I guess the question now is, do you have the win? Rumble. I do see Aggie. The thing is, Jace can't minus, can they? Plays Moxamber. Plays Emery. So looking for another Jace. Why wouldn't they pick the other? Weird. Draw. World Break. And go after Temple Garden, I suppose. Yeah. And pass. Because now they can minus the Jace. Aggie. Kethis. Or targets Kethis, targets Emery. So now they can try and recast Jace. Maybe I should have gotten rid of the Amber. Oh, I guess it wouldn't matter because they're just going to try and mill over more. Right. Yeah. I mean, they had 2-3 consigns in basically their opening hand. So I'm not sure I would have been able to do too much. Jeez. There's the Jace. Well, I'll let you go through the paces. Because time is not on your side. So there's a lot of tapping you have to do. Well, you only need to, I suppose, cast Jace 3 times to mill me out. As long as you're efficient, I think you have it. But we'll see. There's Wielder of Mysteries. Oh, never mind. Wait, why would you do that? You shouldn't have drawn there, right? Unless, do you have another way to draw a card? Shouldn't they have just held the Jace? Oh, I guess Perfected Mind can also draw. That's right. Never mind. So as long as they cast Perfected... They have to now cast Perfected Mind twice. Yeah, I forgot Wielder of Mysteries was still in the works. There's Perfected Mind. Then mill themselves for 10. Or for a remainder of whatever, 6, 7. Then cast Jace again. And then draw a card. Well, Tef works as well. You got it. Alright. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, we had the Jailer, we just weren't able to resolve any of our spells. For a while there, they had 2-3 consigns, so give and take, I suppose. Definitely thinking that the deck has more legs than I thought it did. But I think Jailer Brain is correct. And probably Dismember too, yeah. So, if all those together, I think probably makes for a good sideboard plan. So I do think maybe I'm on Brain instead of Oof. I think it is probably going to be a bit more versatile in this regard. Definitely not feeling Ugin. do wish Worldbreaker was a Devourer there, but hard to justify Devour right now as it's kind of mid as far as numbers are concerned. That might change, so we'll have to see. But otherwise, solid league. Pretty happy. Saw some interesting decks. Saw Kethis Combo finally, which I hadn't prior. Played against Turns again, which definitely is a low meta percent share, but definitely seems like a strong deck. So I'm surprised I don't see it more often. Might just be from all the clicking. A lot of click-intensive decks don't get played on Moto all too much, just because of time constraints. So, could be a factor. Hard to say. But that being said, that there will end today's video. As always, if you guys did enjoy today's video, please do consider hitting the like button. Comment down below if you did see any lines that I missed, any mistakes that I made, or just some general feedback. It is much appreciated. For as much as I hope that you all learn from me in both my success and failure, I hope that I can learn from you all as well. Last but not least, if you have reached this point in the video and haven't already, please do consider hitting the subscribe button. We're getting closer and closer to our next goal of 1,000 subscribers. With that being said, I'll see y'all next time. Bye-bye!